Welcome to Haunt Weekly.
Hello, everyone. I'm Jonathan.
I'm Crystal.
And this is Haunt Weekly, a weekly podcast for the haunted attraction and entertainment community. Whether you're an actor, owner, or just plain aficionado, we aim to be a podcast for you. And we return to you this week after so much fucking fall to law, fall to lee, fall, autumn prom, fall of all the kipes. We are back with the legendary, the man, the myth. You know him. Japes Palles is with us again. And Japes, thank you for being very patient over the past hour.
Yeah.
I can tell that having kids has made you far more patient. No,
it's no sweat. No sweat. Technology sometimes happens.
You know,
I work in IT. I work in IT, so I'm literally my job to make it. Oh yeah, it's supposed to work that way.
Well, and I think part of it is like if things work the way they were supposed to work immediately, you wouldn't have a job.
Correct. So I'm glad that it did not work well.
No, yeah, exactly. We're glad for the failure. This is called job security.
I'm very happy with the software and the service that you were paying for.
And that we switched to a free one, literally a free one, that actually is doing significantly better. And that's just such a piss off.
It really is.
So much money. I'm going to go look up how many invoices they sent me and cry later tonight. That's my new plan for the rest of the evening.
No.
But anyways, thank you, Japes, for coming on. I know we have a laundry list of stuff to discuss. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So real fast, for the 1.5 people that may not know who you are, please introduce yourself and then, well, you know the order you want to take things in. This is pretty much the Jape show now, so we're just going to...
Oh, come on now. We've talked about this.
I know we have, but
it's all me.
It's also been a very stressful hour. I may have forgotten the bullet points. In my defense.
Hey, Japes Palles here, folks. I have been working in and around haunted houses for the past 20 plus years, primarily around the Chicago haunt scene. I've worked for most of the major attractions here in Chicago, and definitely done work with all of them. Managing, training actors, and that kind of stuff. And then for the past 5-6 years now, I've been running Lost Souls bus tours, where we take you to see 3 haunted houses in a night and have a party on the bus and provide entertainment, raffles, and all that good stuff. It's the best way to see Chicago haunts. We got a show coming up pretty soon. We'll probably touch on that a little bit later in the episode.
Yes.
But yeah, this year has been a weird year in that, like, I've kind of had some interesting opportunities to do different kinds of events. Haunt, really, I would say, like, haunt. I don't know. I don't want to say haunt adjacent, but it's just been weird, interesting opportunities. You know, we started off with the Niles event for the benefit for Haunters Against Hate, and I'm not going to go too much into all the details because we covered it a couple months ago, so you can look.
Literally about 2 months ago, I think it was.
Yeah.
So yeah. So you can dig up that episode and find out what that was all about. But I am excited to kind of bring it together here. We haven't really announced, but we did get the final numbers from Niles Scream Park and our little group. In addition to some of the folks who volunteered for Haunters Against Hate throughout the season, not just on the night of our event, managed to raise $4,500 for Haunters Against Hate. So yeah, close to $5,000 for the charity. So we're very excited. That's something we're definitely going to keep coming back. We're looking to expand it next year and have more actors out for that weekend. So. Definitely to get the details on what the heck I'm talking about. Like I said, look at that episode from two months ago on Haunt Weekly, where we kind of broke down the event, talked about what we were doing. But yeah, very excited to just kind of bring it home. And
for those playing along at home, that was episode 405 entitled Haunt Takeover.
There you go.
So yeah, it was a good episode. I had a great time.
Yes, and Paul Lanner, who runs Haunters Against Hate, is in the chat. Hi, Paul.
Hi, Paul.
Congratulations on a successful night at Niles.
Yes. So yeah, So Japes, wow, so much. Go ahead.
Okay, so
someone not me take the lead here.
Where are we? Where
I
are
know.
we now?
Where are we even? I don't even know.
Look, my brain is totally fried from the past hour. I've almost forgotten my name at this juncture. We're lucky that I remember anything.
Yeah. So you had mentioned that you're going to be looking for actors for next year's Niles event for Haunters Against Hate.
Yep.
How can they contact you? If people wanted to go ahead and contact you now, because they're from all over the country, how do you want them to get in touch?
Facebook is probably the best bet. But if we're not friends on Facebook, and you don't want to connect, that's totally fine. You can also email me at lostsoulschicago@gmail.com. That's where I kind of organize stuff, and it'll go straight from email into a spreadsheet, so that you can be contacted later, next year. Yeah, I definitely want to have some opportunities to talk with Aaron and Ross and Berta from over at Niles and start talking through the details and make sure we took over Ross's house this year, and it was pretty awesome. There was like 20 some people just sleeping all over the house. So it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun being there. It was great seeing community come together and and do something good for a great organization. From the kind of like the selfish piece of it, it was just nice to be able to be there with a bunch of haunters and talk a bunch of haunt mess all weekend. And, this is how we do it at our show. And we do this thing at our show. And, just kind of, talk to people about what they do at their different shows. And I definitely got to meet some people who I kind of knew, through social media, or some folks I didn't even know that kind of like, were brought in by other folks. So I got to meet them, met some really talented people, got to see some, again, a lot of times, you look at like the folks who are good at social media, they're very good at playing the social media thing and keeping their posts really active and making it seem like they're a really great big deal in the haunt world. It was great to then see people be able to follow through on that. So to see people who have built up their social media and then actually still be able to deliver on it. Because a lot of times, I think I've talked about this before, I'll go and see somebody who's social media famous, and then I see them perform and it's not all that great. So it was really nice to see some of those folks really delivering, and also nice to see folks who don't have a massive social media presence just be able to show off their stuff. So we had a really cool group. It was a lot of fun. Raised a bunch of money for Hunters Against Hate, and now we'll expand it out. We definitely want to see people, more people come out for the event, and turn this into a yearly thing that kind of grows and helps Hunters Against Hate each year. So yeah, you can contact me, like I said, through Facebook, or you can email me at lostsoulschicago@gmail.com. So that's, and if you can't follow either of those paths, I'm sure if you reach out to Jonathan and Crystal, they can connect.
Which is kind of funny because those are probably the paths to contact us too. So
yeah,
we're just Haunt Weekly everywhere.
Haunt Weekly on Twitter, Haunt Weekly on Facebook, YouTube.com/Haunt Weekly. Everyone here probably knows probably can say it better than I can right now. Because like I said, my brain's fried. I'm totally shot. But anyways,
so going from one great event, fundraising benefit event, to another now, somewhere in the beginning of October, Chris Zarobsky from Haunted House Chicago called me up and he was like, "Hey, Raven's Grin just posted a thing about, Jim's health. We should do a benefit." And I was like, "Yeah, let's do that." And then the haunt season really kicked into overdrive. And, he had reached out also. Chris had already, he'd reached out to me, and he reached out to hauntedillinois.com. So Adam and Jen over at Haunted Illinois. And we all agreed, yes, let's do this thing. But then, October came and started just kicking our butts. And I mean, I had a light October, I'll be honest, but they were busy. So
Yeah.
we just started planning about a week after the haunt season ended. We started really putting things together. We knew we were going to do an event, but we didn't know exactly what it was going to be. So this has been a really exciting kind of organic process that has been changing day by day. But yeah, so what we're doing is, as they shared on the Ravens Grin in page, Jim Warfield. If you're not familiar with Jim Warfield, if you're not familiar with Ravens Grin,
Oh boy.
go back a couple years in the weekly episodes.
Actually, we just republished that episode right around the time the news came out. We republished it.
That's right.
Yeah, so you can just go back to episode 410.
And it's there.
Yeah,
and
there you go.
And that's the Redux. Whenever sometimes we recycle episodes because we've covered something before. In like this case, we had an hour-long interview with Jim, which was absolutely a crazy thing to be able to say out loud. Because getting Jim Warfield to sit in one room for an hour is impressive enough. I mean, realistically, that is an achievement.
Right.
But
yeah.
no,
and I think that episode does a good job of kind of catching his quirkiness and like the things that make his performance very special. You know, like Jim is a guy who I always, I've always felt like I don't know what's the act and what is real.
Nope.
You know,
Correct.
and
No
I don't
idea.
know, and
You
I think those things have always kind of blended.
And
And I think
yeah.
your episode captures that.
yeah, we actually were talking about him last night to a friend because she's like, "What is Raven's Grin in?" And we were trying to describe
3
it.
hours later.
Yeah, and we basically came up with the same thing. It's a mixture of, you know,
You don't know where the fiction and the fact
Yeah.
line is. You don't know where the character versus the person line is. And that's kind of the joy of it. It's like it goes back and forth over all that as time goes on in such a delightful way.
Yeah. And I think you know, I think trying to explain the Ravens Grin in experience is like it's like it's explaining a Seinfeld episode. Right? You know, like if you weren't watching, like you're just not going to get it. There's no way I'm going to be able to capture what it really is. And so
Yeah.
So recently, again, Ravens Inn did post information about Jim's health situation, and you know, he's been diagnosed with Alzheimer's, and you know, he's experiencing the effects of Alzheimer's, which, when you know how connected the house is to Jim, like Jim and the Ravens Grin Inn are like, he literally created a monster house. Like, to me, it's like a living house because of the way that he has treated that house and the way that he has loved that house. And so, you know, we really wanted to help out. You know, they have cut back they've cut back their tours a lot. Initially, that was obviously due to the pandemic. You know, I know, you know, Jim lost his brother to COVID during the pandemic. And so that hit him really hard, and you could see it kind of in the things that he was sharing. Once they came out of the pandemic, they're still doing tours, but it's by reservations only. Whereas before, like, you could just show up at the house. Like,
yeah.
I've heard of people getting to the house at 1:30 in the morning, and they just opened up and said, "Yeah, okay, let's do a tour." So
We did not do that.
No.
yeah, no, they're not doing it anymore.
No,
They're not doing that
I would not
anymore.
expect any haunt to do that, honestly.
No, yeah. But yeah, so, you know, Jim has been around for a long time. You know, back many years ago, you know, Transworld used to be in Chicago. It used to be at the Donald Stevens Convention Center, where Midwest Haunters is now. And back in the day, it was very common for people to, like, come in a couple days early or leave a couple days late so that they could then go out to Mount Carroll and check out the Ravens Grin Inn. So I know a lot of those old school haunters that are out there have been there. You know, people from out of the state have been there. And then I think people who are in the know that it's a destination. It's a place worth seeing. So say all that to say, we are doing a benefit. So December 2nd. So it's next weekend. Jesus,
Yeah.
next weekend.
Yeah.
It's next weekend. We are going to be doing a benefit in Mount Carroll. So the main party is going to be at the Mount Carroll bowling lanes. Haunted Illinois has booked the place for most of the day.
Yeah, and if I remember correctly, it's right on the main square of town.
Correct.
Yeah.
It's actually the bowling alley is a couple blocks.
Well, it's right near it, though. Granted, Mount Carroll is only a couple blocks from itself, but
if you're driving through Mount Carroll and you sneeze, you will miss Mount Carroll. So it's very small. Everything is basically built around town square, including the inn. The Ravens Grin Inn is right off of like the main square. If you've been to small town Illinois or really small town anywhere, everything is around the square. So anyway, so we'll have the bowling alley from 2:00 till 7:00. There will be food and sodas served throughout the day. We'll have raffles. We're going to be doing a silent auction. I know Chris from Haunted House Chicago was just telling me his parents donated Blackhawks tickets.
Wow.
So there will be Blackhawks tickets on the line. We've got stuff from from the Wooden Pecker, which is a part of the Forge, the Nightmare Forge. They're making, I believe, some tables, I think.
Wow.
I can't recall if they're doing the tables. I know that they were doing one of their skull chairs. So they'll have that. Haunt Pay has reached out. Actually, I reached out to Haunt Pay to help out with the event, and they're going to be donating directly to Jim and Jess. The Art of Barcode has submitted some art. Terror in the Isles is giving some signed horror movie posters. Midnight Terror is sending some shirts and stuff like that. Sinister Visions. Chad Savage designed the shirt, so there will be a commemorative shirt that we'll be selling at the event. So Transworld Live is also going to have us on Tuesday, so they're giving up some of their airtime for us to help promote the event. So a lot of people coming together to make this a really big event. We're really excited to try to raise as much money as we can for them. Again, they're not running a lot of tours. There is now new medical expenses that didn't exist before. So we just really want to help out Jim and Jess. Again, the house has been their livelihood for many, many, many years. And whatever we can do to kind of help them out, we want to do that. So that's kind of the grand high overview of the event. We are still working with there's a couple businesses in that town square that would like to be a part of the event as well. We're working things out. We know that we're going to be making like cards or like, scrapbook stuff for Jim, to present to him. Sorry, I should probably mention the tours, right?
Yeah.
We'll get there.
That's kind of a
We've got some time. It'll be
We're only
fine.
20 minutes in. It's okay. You got time.
Yeah.
So we've got the party going on at the bowling alley, and then we're going to be kind of trying to have some events at some of the local businesses. We're also going to have some heating stations and stuff set up in front of the house with other activities going on. Good opportunities for photo ops to take your picture in front of the house, all that fun stuff. But of course, right. No experience out to Mount Carroll. It's not worth the drive out to Mount Carroll if you're not going to go in the house.
Right.
Sorry, Mount Carroll. Sorry, anybody from Mount Carroll.
Well, I was going to say that like Mount Carroll has been very supportive of Jim and Ravens Grin Inn, and that's something that you don't always see between small towns and haunted attractions of any stripe. But no, they are incredibly supportive and loving of Jim. When we were there, we mentioned to everyone we were seeing over Ravens Grin Inn, and everyone's face just lit up and smiled. And so, that town loves Jim.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I know Chris has been in touch with someone from City Hall and they're actually, again, they're blocking off the parking lot and that whole space over by that whole block over there, to make sure that we have plenty of space and people can hang out in front. So we're working on some drink specials and stuff with some of the local bars, and then there's an ice cream place that also has mini golf, so we're working with them as well. So again, just opportunities to kind of have fun during the day. And then, of course, the tours of the house. So we're not doing tours. We are doing scavenger hunts in the house. So that is going to give you 30 minutes in the house to just explore at your leisure. There will be some signs hidden throughout the house that if you find all the signs, you win the scavenger hunt. There will be prizes for whoever wins finds the most signs throughout the house.
Oh, that'll be fun.
Yeah.
We've got people in the chat who are really excited about the scavenger hunts as well. And also Brock said a pub table, coasters, and a skull chair too.
There you go.
Yes.
That's right. He's doing the coasters. There you go. Thank you, Brock. That's Brock from Woodenpecker. They've been doing a lot of great stuff. He actually made me a bunch of tables for our bus tour this year that we raffled off and brought in $1,000. Yeah, we made it $1,000 for Hunters Against Hate this year through Lost Souls. These are full hub tables, $200 tables that he just donated 3 of them. Great stuff going on there. They're making some really cool furniture, really cool, like industrial furniture. It's with your branding on it and all that fun stuff. So,
Oh yeah, I'm learning new features. Like I said, this was a Hail Mary play getting this set up and working. So this is a Raven's Grin and miracle. The live stream is on at all.
Yeah.
So we'll be doing the scavenger hunts every 45 minutes. It's a 30-minute scavenger hunt through the house. There are going to be some parts of the house that have to be closed off, so the bed slide will not be open. There's also another slide up near the attic that is going to be closed as well. We're going to be still using the majority of the house. You'll still be using the majority of the house. Just some of those, not shticks. What am I trying to say? Some of his gags, some of the gags won't be included. But certainly, there will be people around that can help you out through the house if you've never been. I think the majority of people that are coming probably have been to the house. But if not, Jess will be around, and I'll there will be volunteers.
Well, okay. Technically, we've been to the house, and technically, we went on a 3-hour tour. We got the Gilligan's Island version, as I choose to call it. And you're like, if you need anyone to help around the house, yeah, I would need someone to help me around that house.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Not a chance in hell I'm navigating that on my own.
No, it's it's fun. Like, over the years, I've learned a bunch of the different hiding spots that are there. There's one that I always love. There's a couch on the 2nd floor that if you lift up the cushion, it's got like a gate lock in it. If you lift up the cushion, there's a ladder in it. You can get into the couch and climb down to the 1st floor. So there's those types.
Did not see that on our tour.
You don't find. Yeah, you don't find that in one visit. That takes a couple. That takes a couple visits. I mean, in my early haunt days, I would go there at least once a year. I had my birthday there. Mm-hmm. I actually went there on my honeymoon. So Raven's Grin has been really important to me. Actually, it's funny. I was reflecting recently on some of just kind of going through Jim's routine and going through his gags and stuff, and I realized I have ripped off so much of his material.
Plagiarist.
I mean, it's bad. It's bad. He was the first one that I ever saw doing a toy chainsaw gag, and he did the same thing where he had like a full size chainsaw case, one of those big old plastic chainsaw cases, and he had it, you know, on the floor, and he kind of like turned around and like reached into it and does this big buildup of the, you know, the mind tearing, you know, mind ripping, flesh tearing, you know, Raven's Grin chainsaw, and then pulls out this teeny little mouse with a chainsaw. And then, you know, I ended up doing, you know, the chainsaw gag became a big deal, a big gag that I've used for Brewster for a long time. But I don't think I really made the realization that I stole it from him until recently. And I was like, oh, wait, I took that from him.
I am 100% sure Jim does not mind.
Yeah.
I am 1,000% sure of that. I'm completely confident. He's probably honored, if anything. But yeah, no. I mean, and to those that have never been able to go to Raven's Grin Inn, it is such a unique experience. And like I said, trying to describe it to our friend last night, it's like you said, I was trying to describe an episode of Seinfeld to someone that's never seen Seinfeld before. Because, I mean, you could describe it badly. Oh, yeah, you go through this weird, large old house as an old guy tells you stories about things. But that kind of is it, but no, not really. It doesn't get, like, all the craziness. And
I will tell you, it had the scariest feather duster ever in the world.
Yeah, and one of the things we were talking about with our friend is how amazing he is at disappearing. Because he'll do the Batman thing, where it's like you're looking at him, you look away at something, usually because he pointed to something, and then you look back and he's just gone.
Yeah.
It's like,
misdirection.
How the hell did you do that? You didn't, and he didn't even like throw a smoke bomb down or anything. It was just, nope, he's gone.
Yeah, no, and he's startled me before.
Oh yeah,
There's one place where he would hide behind a door, and he just had like this, like I think it was like a praying mantis leg, but it was like totally like just some cheap shit, you know, cheap crappy toy, you know.
Yeah.
Which that's all of his whole house is like. I'm sure he's never spent any money on any.
Oh no, and
besides like screws and lumber, but everything else is recycled and upcycled.
Yeah, in our interview, actually, he talked about how he got known for running the house. People would just start to bring him stuff. He didn't even have to go get the stuff. People would just start dropping it off. And so he doesn't go dumpster diving. He never went dumpster diving, really. He just always had it brought to him. And it's like, oh, well, I got to do something with this now.
I think that's how he got the famous I-beam.
Yeah.
Was somebody brought it and dropped it off at his house.
Yeah. Sure. Don't people just bring I-beams to your house?
No, they do not.
Yeah.
They do bring some crazy stuff, but not I-beam crazy. Like it's funny because I think this is kind of what I'm looking. I guess kind of the turn that this episode has kind of taken, where we're just kind of sitting here and swapping these Jim stories and these Raven Grin Inn stories. This is really what I'm really excited for this event. You know, I'm really excited to get people out there and you know, just kind of talk to them and hear their experiences going through the Raven's Grin, and you know, and really just having an opportunity to kind of celebrate what a unique, incredible place it is, you know? Yeah, I mean, I know we've been working very closely with Jess, you know, Jim's wife, to help plan this event. And we've made a lot of, I mean, like I said, it's been, this is an event that will be finished. We will be finished planning probably about 3 weeks after the event is over.
I understand that completely. I know what that feels like.
Isn't that basically the Haunters motto, like more broadly? But yeah.
We're just, I mean, we just keep coming up with ideas, and it's a matter of having the time and the resources. You know, we have reached out to, you know, to a bunch of haunters. Again, Brock, I know is in the chat there, you know, and then Jason and Angie and Tyler from the Forge and from Wooden Pecker. They're all volunteering. They're going to be coming out and helping out. We did ask, and you know, like kind of, you know, in some of the folks that I reached out to help out, because again, we're hoping to have events going on at different locations, but we want to make sure that there's always one of our people at one of those locations. But one of the things that we have said from the beginning is that, like, our volunteers also have to pay to get in, because it's not, you're not getting, it's not that you're paying for a ticket, it's that we're giving the money Jim and Jess.
Yeah.
Like, it's all going. Haunted Illinois is going to be matching the first $1,000. The first $1,000 in ticket sales and all that fun stuff. So I think we're there, actually. Hey, Adam, if you're watching, I think you owe Jim and Jess $1,000.
I'm sure that check has already been sent, so to speak.
But yeah, I mean, again, we're all volunteering our time and donating what we can. But we're all still buying tickets. Haunted Illinois is buying tickets. Haunted House Chicago. Myself, I bought the first ticket because I did the ticketing website.
As it should be.
This is the way.
I was like, well, I better test to make sure this works.
Yeah.
Oh, good. I got my ticket. Sweet.
I'm sorry we won't be able to go.
Yeah.
But it just isn't going to work with Crystal's new job.
Yeah.
However, we will be sending stuff in to raffle or giveaway or whatever. Y'all's judgment. We've got, Crystal showed off the pumpkin in one of the live streams that failed.
Yes.
But
there are other things.
We have other things too. We're going to send you a box of stuff. It should be there sometime next week. Mm-hmm. So hopefully that'll help at least a little bit. But God, and the thing about it is, like, talking about the scavenger hunt, that's what I wanted to do next at Ravens Grin Inn. Because we got the tour. We got probably one of the best tours you can get from Ravens Grin Inn in terms of time spent and attention from Jim. Mm-hmm. But then I wanted to try the scavenger hunt. But then, I have a crippling fear I will get lost and then become part of the scenery at Ravens Grin Inn. So we'll be sent. But so was that. But you have people there to help, and I'm assuming somebody there. Because I'm not even sure, like, Jim ever really knew the full layout of the house. Because it's such a dynamic thing. He kept changing it.
It's pretty crazy.
It is nuts.
It's pretty crazy, yeah.
Trying to tell people, no, there's a slide inside the house that goes to the basement.
Yeah.
People don't like wrap their head around it.
No, it goes from like the second
floor.
Yeah,
it's like way up. It's like the second
floor.
Yeah.
All the way through the first floor. Through what would be a basement into a wine cellar that is underground.
Yeah.
This was not a small undertaking.
No.
Build that thing.
Like, how do you explain that to people?
You don't just sit down in the slide and go down the slide.
No.
You lay in a bed and the bed gets raised up and you slide down.
Yeah.
And by the way, that was the moment I knew that Wile E. Coyote physics is real. Because, like, when the bottom comes out, there's like a split second before gravity realizes it's supposed to be doing something to you. And you're just going, oh, you have just enough time to immediately regret the decision.
Yeah, you get to turn around and put up your sign that help.
Help me. Shouldn't have bought from Acme. Yeah, that's the first time I experienced.
And yes, it is in a potato sack. Jason Olsen said that he had a 7-hour tour.
Oh, wow.
They actually said hello to the morning, the sun.
Wow. Yeah, I felt lucky getting a 3-hour one. But no, it is such an incredible and unique place, and there's no way even telling the stories of it. Because when we first heard about it, it was a friend of ours who had done this big nationwide, doing all this random stuff trip. And one of the places he hit was Ravens Grin, but it was like he literally went, I think, to all 50 states, including Alaska and Hawaii, as part of this trip. And when he got back, after doing all this stuff, he drank in Alaska with the little thing with the toe in it and all this crazy stuff he did, the very first thing he wanted to tell everyone about was Ravens Grin. Been gone for like a month. Very first thing he tells everyone about is Ravens Grin. And so that's how awesome it is.
Yeah, so we knew the next time we were in Illinois, we had to head up to it.
Yeah, we had to make the trip from St. Louis. So much corn.
Yeah.
So much corn between those two places.
Yes. And Adam and Jennifer are in the chat as well.
That's cool.
So.
Yeah.
Adam and Jen. Yeah, Adam and Jen from Haunted Illinois are there. So thanks for tuning in, y'all.
Yeah. Sorry for all the technical hiccups and the delays, but we did get it kind of working.
Kind of,
yeah. But
you worked around it. It's all good.
Yeah. Yeah, we tried something different. We tried a completely different route. So, and this does prove it was the software, not me. That was the problem.
That's always a good thing to know.
That's always a good thing to know. I'm not the problem. I don't get to say that very often in my house. But this is such a cool event and such a great thing to do. So to recap, December 2nd, starting at, like you said, 2 p.m. at the bowling alley in Mount Carroll, Illinois. From there until 7, hanging out. I'm guessing some bowling will take place, likely.
It is pay for your own bowling, but I if I remember, it was super cheap there. We did an event there once, quite a few years ago now. Our Haunted Illinois had an event there, and I remember the bowling being really cheap. So if you want to hang out, do some bowling, like I said, we're going to have some stations set up, hopefully doing art and things like that at some of the local businesses. One of the things I kind of want to I'd like to focus some of our energy on is just, the nonstop creativity of Jim Warfield. Like, dude is still making stuff. He's still making stuff for the house.
I don't think he knows how to stop. I think it's a compulsion. I really do.
The house has been growing and morphing and changing. It's one of those places that just because you went there 2 years ago, you're not going to get the same experience the next time because things are changing. He's adding new stuff. He's got his classics, he's got his oldies, but his goodies. But there's always new stuff to see. So, in the creative spirit of Jim, I want to, have opportunities for people to draw or paint or, do things and just create. Because I think that's really, one of the things that I learned most from Jim is Jim's style is not a technical style.
No. Well, I don't.
Nobody looks at his drawings and goes, "Man, that cat looks real."
It's really funny because I don't think he said it in our interview and on our podcast, but he said it somewhere that when he got the house and got started doing this, he didn't know anything about carpentry, metalworking, art. He didn't know anything. He was just making it up as he went, and that's the Haunter spirit in a nutshell. Yeah.
Absolutely. It's just create and build and do it himself.
And be prepared to screw it up because that's the only way you're going to learn.
Yeah.
Yep. So, I'd like to do things to kind of hold true to that, and have some different events. At 7:00 after the bowling alley or our time, the bowling alley's not closing, but after our time at the bowling alley is finished, we are going to all meet in front of the Ravens Grin Inn and kind of do a toast to Jim Warfield. We're also hoping to have a bunch of the Jim Warfield award winners. So hauntedhousechicago.com does every year they do the Jim Warfield Actors of the Year. So that is their official acting award that they've been doing for somewhere around 12 to 15 years now. So we have reached out to a bunch of the old winners so that they can hopefully be there to honor him as well. I know we've got some confirmed for sure. I also know that some can't make it. So yeah, I mean, it's going to be it should be a really fun event. We're hoping Jim is able to be there in as much of a capacity as he can. But we also know that where he's at right now, he may not. He may not be.
It's day to day. It's going to be day to day.
Yep, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So we're, I don't know. I'm just really pumped for this. I've really been enjoying doing these kind of different type of events. Doing the Niles thing and then doing this has been really rejuvenating and kind of reminds me of, the positivity that this community can bring together,
Well, if ever this tech thing doesn't work out for you, event planner?
I hate planning events.
So every event planner hates planning them.
And I think that's why they're good at it.
It is.
I know.
There are very few people who can do it well.
Yeah, I think it's for me. It's like if it was like a wedding, I'd be like, I don't really care if your wedding is great. But if it was like my friends, if it was my friends and they were like, hey, we're gonna get married, could you plan our wedding? I'd be like, yeah, let's go all in. Let's make this totally you guys. Let's go. So I have to believe in what the event is. So I think doing event planning would be doing a lot of events just because I'm being paid to do the events. But if I can continue finding like haunt events like this, things that bring this community together, and get back to kind of the charity end of it. When I first started out, the first haunt that I worked at gave money to charity, a lot of money to a local cerebral palsy camp. And actually, I believe 11th Hour was the number one fundraiser for the camp, Shady Oaks Camp. So being able to give back is important to me.
Mm-hmm.
It's yeah. I like I said, I think this is a great opportunity. Jim taught me a lot. And whether he didn't intentionally teach me anything, he was just doing his thing, and I was like, I could do something.
It is impossible to be near Jim and not learn, I think, is what it comes down to.
Yeah, for sure.
Because I know I learned a lot just in my brief time with him, both the interview the day after and during the tour. So realistically, we only had like a day and a half with him, but that was enough that I feel like I became a better haunter for him too. Because like one of the things you talked about, you got the chainsaw gag. I don't know if I got a particular gag or anything, but I noticed his movement when he's doing the tour. He has such weird movement that almost looks unnatural, and it's very, very cool, and it's very distracting, and it's something you can bring into almost any haunted attraction character, is that type of uncanny valley movement,
Yeah, I mean, for me, it was the quick wit.
Oh yeah,
it was being able to come up with a joke, and then he also does this thing, and I use it a lot as Brewster, where he would tell a really bad joke, but then he would start laughing hysterically until you started laughing. So he wouldn't stop. He would just keep doing it until you joined in, and so like. That's a thing that I utilize all the time. I think I utilize it even outside of my character. If I tell a bad joke at work, I make somebody laugh with me.
Or to quote the great Craig Ferguson, I made myself laugh. That's half the battle.
Yeah. So what other? I'm trying to think. What other good stuff? We're doing 3 levels of ticketing. $15 gets you into the party. $35 gets you into the party and one of the scavenger hunts, and then $60 gets you the party, the scavenger hunt, and a commemorative shirt. So the prices are
incredibly reasonable.
Way too low.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. You said it, not me. I was just going to be diplomatic. Yes, I agree.
There was a lot of conversation, and Jess was kind of saying like, "Hey, we're still only charging $10 to $15 for the tours." So it's like, she didn't want to go crazy. She didn't want to gouge people. I also think I tend to go on the high end of things, and I know the value here, right?
Mm-hmm.
$15, and you're going to get to hang out at the bowling alley and do all the different things that we've got going on. Plus, there's food and drinks. So you're going to have pizza. You're going to be fed all through the day, and that's worth the $15 alone, right?
Yeah,
yeah,
agreed. I can eat $15 in pizza, no problem. Not even a challenge.
Yeah. So you've got that, that alone, and then you add the tour in for $20. 30 minutes in the Ravens Grin Inn is well worth $20.
Absolutely, yeah.
Definitely. So if someone hears this and thinks that they agree that it is too low, I'm sure there will be a way at the event to be able to donate more.
So yeah, like we said, we'll be taking donations we're taking donations through the ticketing page. We're taking donations through, at the event. We will be doing silent raffles. We'll be doing a 50-50 raffle. So there's going to be lots of opportunities to have fun with your money, but also give it to a good cause. So there's definitely all those opportunities as well. We are asking, the team got the team yelled at me the other day because I made a boo-boo. There are two ways to donate. You can go as if you were getting a ticket through the ticketing page. If you go to the ticket, like you click on see times, blah, 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 there's a donate button there. And you can donate through that. Or there's also a link to the PayPal, so you can donate directly to the Ravens Grin. The only reason that we wanted people to donate through the website more than anything is because then we have a better idea of how we're doing.
It goes back to that event planning and know how many people you need to plan for.
And also, we know that Haunt Pay is making donation too, so...
Yeah, exactly. So, right. And again, like, Adam and Jen from Haunted Illinois are going to be donating that first $1,000. So if we don't do $1,000 worth of sales, then they get away with not giving $1,000. They're giving $1,000.
And Adam actually just said that they will be accepting cash donations on site as well. So putting that, and now I know I can do this. I can put that up on the screen. That's really cool.
Yeah. You could do. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, absolutely. Cash will be king the day of the event. All the online ticketing stuff will be pretty much just leading up to the event. So again, we know how many people we have coming. But once you're there, if you want to add, if you bought the $15 ticket and then you're like, you know what, I really want to see the scavenger hunt, as long as we have openings available, then yes, you can absolutely buy on the spot. That said, I mean, we're doing, let me see, spreadsheet. We're doing 1, 2, 3. We're doing 7 tours. So there's 7 30-minute blocks available for the scavenger hunt. I can tell you the 3:30 is almost full. That one was at about 3 seats left. I say seats, but not seats.
Spots, places.
Yeah, places. Yeah, three slots left on that time. So, yeah. Scavenger hunts.
And you said cash is king the day of. So with the auctions that are going to be in person, do people need to bring cash for those?
Yeah. So we'll be doing tickets, and then you put your tickets. It's actually not a silent auction. I think we keep mistakenly calling it a silent
well, any auction's a silent auction if you shut up. I mean,
it's actually one of those where you buy a bunch of tickets and then put them into bags for whatever prize you want.
Yeah,
that's what it is. Silent auction is actually when
you write down your bid on a little piece of paper and walk away from it. Yeah.
Yeah, we may do that for some of the higher ticket items. I think I'm kind of feeling like I don't want somebody to get away, but with buying like $10 worth of raffle tickets and getting a $200 skull chair.
Yeah.
or the Blackhawk tickets, which are still a hot commodity here in Chicago. So so we may do a mix of auctions. Like I said, we'll be planning this thing for several weeks after the event is over.
Well, you would not be a haunter if you did it any other way. That's just how it is. Well, we're running a little tight. We're almost out of time. It's almost at the 50 minutes. Real quick, where do I go to get tickets? Where do I go to donate? Just hit all the details. And we're going to put all this in the show notes, too, when we publish this live. When we actually put the episode out tomorrow. So it'll be in the show notes. But Japes, tell the nice people where to go.
So best way to do it is honestly follow the links here in the Haunt Weekly. Otherwise, it's app.hauntpay.com /events/forevermore. So that's how you can get to it. I don't have a shortened link.
No.
You can also check out the Lost Souls page where we'll be, we've posted the link several times. It's on hauntedhousechicago.com. It's on hauntedillinois.com, on everybody's social medias.
Yeah, I've definitely seen it being passed around, as it should be, by pretty much everyone, Chicago or not.
And even if you can't come, if you can share it, the more we spread the word, especially I think about some of those old school folks that used to come in from, for Trans World back in the day, who've known Jim for many, many years. If you can't make it, make a donation. It means a lot to them. It's going to help them out. You can, that's kind of the way to go with it. I'm trying to think of other venues where it is, but that's the main places.
Yeah, and
Raven. Actually, what am I talking about? Go to the Ravens Grin Facebook page. They've got an event created, and it's got the ticketing link in there too. Check them out. We're all over the place.
All right,
sounds good.
And then I love to wait for the end for the
we know
we'll have it like up front too. We'll front load it too, but.
Yeah. So we haven't announced it yet, but I'm announcing it right now. December 15th will be Lost Souls Chicago Christmas. This will be our final tour. It was honestly, my month is so damn booked. But the weekend that most of the haunts are open is the 15th, 16th. We wanted to do Saturday. We always prefer to do Saturdays. It's just easier for folks. But I will be watching my daughter's Nutcracker recital. So I will be cultured at the ballet on the 16th. But on the 15th, I'll be a heathen as usual. We'll be going to Midnight Terror and Disturbia Haunted Houses for their Christmas shows. Working out the details of the after party. Pretty excited about what we're planning. Hopefully I can pull it off. I did get in touch with one performer today, but we need like 3 more. So I will work that out and get the details out. But yes, Lost Souls Christmas, December 15th.
Well, and as everybody who's a listener of this podcast knows, we have nothing but the kindest of words to say about Lost Souls.
Yes.
It was easily the best way to visit the haunts. It is such an incredible experience. I'm sad that this will be the last one, but hey, it's going to be a fun one to go out on. I got to admit.
Yeah. It was a good year. It was a very good year. We had a fun season. Went by really fast. Those 3 days went by really damn quick. I got a bunch of people lost in the woods at Hell's Gate. That was fun. And like not at the haunted attraction, like the woods around it.
Oh, yeah. and Alex in the chat has a suggestion for your after party. So it says encore Nutcracker performance at the after party. I don't think that's quite the tone he's shooting for.
There may be a Nutcracker, but it's definitely not going to be a little kid doing.
Well. On that note, everyone, thank you very much for your patience in coming up to this. I mean, this was easily one of the most frustrating hours I've had in a very long time, but we got it working, and I'm glad we got to spend this hour with Japes. Thank you all for sticking around. Thank you all for listening for the past hour.
Remember to support Ravens Grin and Forevermore.
Yep, and we will have links to all that in the description. Also, while you're there, support the town of Mount Carroll. Lots of wonderful businesses there, too. Very great place that's been very supportive of Jim and the haunt community. But on that note, thank you all again. This has been episode 417 of Haunt Weekly, as we've just loosely entitled Japes Returns. I don't know if that will be the final title, but yeah, it's the working one. Please check out more Haunt Weekly. We're at hauntweekly.com, Haunt Weekly on Twitter, Haunt Weekly on Facebook, and youtube.com/Haunt Weekly. We exist pretty much everywhere as Haunt Weekly because no one else wanted the name. But until next time, I'm Jonathan.
I'm Crystal.
I'm Japes.
And 2 out of 3 of us will see you next week. And the rest of you will see Japes next week if you go to Ravens Grin and do that. So,
yes.
See you all
Good
then.
way to see me.